And every village people, go. Your choice, Yes. Yes. That's good. That's good. One more. You're almost there. One more. One more. One more. You don't overtake her, but one more. Come on, man. One more.
Yes, you're almost there. I like this guy. He's not giving up. Whoa! Brother, let me tell you, it's not in the fact that he went through the words. He's what? Are you serious? He's not even a photographer. He's the guy, he's a sound guy, Abi. And he listens by you. God bless you. Please come. Come. Wow. Wow. You see, my sister, I'm going to write, this lady prophesied a heavy prophecy and I felt it. She said, very soon, it will no longer be Abuja International Photo Fest. It will be Africa International Photo Fest. And I keyed into that heavily, right? So you see the amount of impact that this is bringing to not just content creators. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome our amazing supporters and partners. What's your name again, sir? And all right, please make welcome Mr. Sokpe and Sheyi from Infinix to present this to this amazing brother.
Well, we're glad to be here. We are delighted. We're delighted to be here. I'll say we are sorry we have not been here since. We have missed out on a lot, but then it's never late. We are here and we are here. We are here to support you, and we appreciate your creativity, your ingenuity, and all what we have witnessed here today. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Congratulations, my brother.
All right, content creators, put photo moment now, pictures. Go close to it, yes. Osase, please join. Judith, please join, I beg. This is a very remarkable moment. We're happy that corporate is now coming to join this story. Amazing visionaries. All right, content creators, let's do this. All right, fantastic. Thank you. My brother, I know we have one more left, but after bio, we're going to do one more. But you see, don't go. But it gets sometimes, when they go and give things, they always leave extra just in case, My brother, I am here. I'm not too proud. My brother, Lifty. Thank you very much, man. I'm grateful. All right. Thank you so much for being part of this giveaway. Stick around. Don't leave. You're about to get blessed by our amazing brother, and then we're going to come back. Thank you so much.
I mean, if you're not jealous, right? If your blood is not, come on, make some. Come on now. Okay, you are jealous. It's okay. See, we still have gifts for. See, almost everybody here today is going to be a winner. There is so much more to be won. So don't be angry, don't be jealous. Let's not lie, let's not steal, let's be happy, right? So I'm excited about the next session because he's already in the house. Can you hear me? Okay. I don't know if I am worthy to actually introduce the next speaker. So I'm going to rely on Mr. Okay, so you have given me the power, right? Okay. So by the power vested in me, this is the last session for the This is No, you're not going to stampede me like that. I will not allow you stampede me like that. But this is the last session for the Abuja/Africa Photo Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, please, with a standing ovation, let us welcome the one, the only, Mr. Bayo!
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, good evening, everybody. It's such an honor and a rare privilege to be here. I just came back this morning. I'm very tired, but I need to be here because this guy is doing an amazing work. And I think he deserves a very big round of applause. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for... Some of you might be seeing the beautiful parts today. This guy has been on this game for so long. So long, so long. And I can agree with you. The future is very bright. And the future is closer than you can imagine. Thank you very much. God bless you. And thank you, my chairman, sir. I greet you. With the whole of my heart, you've honored me today, but we wouldn't have been here without you guys. You guys paved and paid the price for where we are today. A lot of people celebrate us, both locally and internationally, but a lot of people bared the pain and the sacrifice. They carried the cross for our own salvation. And we will never take it for granted. God bless you, sir. And to everyone in your generation, God will honor you. Me, I'm not here to say anything because I feel you guys have had 5 days of engaging. I'm just here to disrupt. Is it fine to disrupt? Yes. You guys have been hearing speeches. So, to disrupt the way you guys have been, I just want you guys to do me just one favor. The only favor I'll ask for today. Pull your chairs, stand up from where you've been sitting since you came today and just draw closer to me. Pull your chairs. Just come closer. It is not a talk. It is family meeting. Just come closer, very close. Everybody, just come close, very close. Very close. It's a family meeting. It's going to be very unusual, very unconventional. I'll give you 20 seconds to... Except if you are not part of the family, then you can stay, except for the technical people, of course. I came with a slide, so I'm going to just show you. But you guys have disrupted my slide. So I'm not going to speak about anything I thought of art on this slide. And why I told them to put it up is so that you know there's a slide. All right, just give me a moment. I would need to, again, that yellow is going to mess my style up. All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. My name is Bayo Moboriwo, and I am a storyteller and a creative, what do you call it? Okay, I'm a creative. But one of the key things I came to do today is to commune with you guys. And I wish I don't have to use the mic because now it makes me look as if I'm more important than you. And I didn't want to use the mic because I believe we are all the same. I'm only someone who has tasted grace. And I'm privileged to be here standing in front of you. And I really wish I didn't have to stand. So I'm thinking, how else can I do this without standing in front of you? So I'm going to pull this chair closer. Is it fine? All right, guys. Do I have to use the mic? Okay. All right, guys. Good evening again, everybody. One of the key things for me, I really want us to be very honest this evening. Very honest. And for me, I think the time I would spend with you, as short as it could be, and the time my boss here has spent with you, and every brilliant speaker that has engaged with you in the last 4 to 5 days I've spent should not go to waste. And immediately I was sitting there listening to him. I said, no, maybe there's a real difference or real essence of my being here. I told my staff I was done speaking this year. And he had to reach out.
Well, they sent several emails to make sure I'm here, because for me, I don't think it's just about going up and down speaking. I don't waste words. And I tell people, why am I speaking? And why do I stop to speak? Because virtue leaves us when we speak. It's not paperwork. It's not slide that we're just showing you slide. And we just go and put some 5 C's and 5 P's. And we just want you to follow. And I'm a Christian, so I will speak with some spiritual principles, not to bore you with religion. But there's something in the Bible that says the letter killeth. And why does the letter kill? Because most times we have been bogged by theories. But it is men that made those theories. It is from their own experience that they bet those theories. So when principles are given, it is not for you to be held down by those principles, but for you to discover who you are and the essence of why you are alive and why you are living. And for me, this evening, I just wanted us to have deep conversations. And the conversation is, and I'm going to pass the wave from here, and the wave is going to go this way. We've had, can this drone go down? It's getting in my head. We've had deep conversations in 5 days. I'm going to just pick people randomly. And I just want to ask you an honest question. What do you think you need to do from where you are to go to where you should go to? And what is stopping you? Because I realize that we speak in platforms and a lot of people come, and I get worried about the future. Because we really want this future to be progressive. We don't just want to come and speak to photographers. And for me, I'm worried about the state of photography in Nigeria today. And we are not here to motivate you and just say, you can do it, go and do it. But we need to be sure that the signs are leading to the fact that you can actually get to where we want you to get to. And for me, the days are going by where I feel a lot of creatives are no longer innovating. And we have been exposed to more technology, so we should be more innovative. But there's this bandwagon effect of everybody just wants to do what the other person did. But the reality of life is that you should do more than the people that have gone past you, and you should set a new standard. And for me, I'm looking to inspire you and challenge your mind today, which is why it's a family meeting, to say you can't stay where you are. Because where you are is already tired of you. And where you are will soon leave you behind. And the question is, what is stopping you? So I am open to sharing those challenges with you. I want to listen to your challenges. And I want to proffer solution with my own knowledge of the little experience I have and see how we can navigate forward. So we don't leave this photo festival with just conversations and then we move again, coming back next. There were times we were going to speak and we were attending events. And I got to a point, I told my friend, I'm not going for any event again. I was tired of going to events. And I told myself, the one I went for, I've not made good use of. I need to be productive. When you see me, you should be able to see the effect of that speech or that conference, of that thing in my life. If it is not showing, something is wrong. And I'm here to move you forward as well, such that by the time I see you next year, I can see tangible progress that you've made. And life is not counted by time. I am one of the people that time God favored by accelerating my career. Your careers can be accelerated. In the history of Nigeria, so closely, travel the world. My dream was to travel around 36 states in Nigeria. I was praying to God, if I can just travel around Nigeria, Borno, go to Ilorin, Kwara State, and just, that was my dream. Whether you like politics or not, or you liked President Buhari or not, the point is I traveled over 80 countries in the world. So my dreams came to life. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So there's something inside of you, there's a dream inside of you that must come to life. How do we journey from here to where we want to be? And I'll start with, because yes, I just saw, the yellow I removed from here, I was now seeing it on your dress. And I just want to, and that's why I said it's a family conversation. This is unrestricted, unbiased. Also, where is he? Should we do this? No, not go ahead. Should we do it? All right, guys. Over to you.
So,
and my boss is here, so we can both discuss this and find solutions for the future. And what is it again? To reiterate, where are we? Where do we need to get to? What do you need to take you to where you really want to get to?
yeah, thank you for asking me the first question. For me, the whole experience, I was telling Aisha, like, even if I don't win anything, I've won. First of all, the factor of fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always had that. Then Mr. Obina, yesterday he blew my mind because the whole conceptualization of portrait, and I never thought of portrait that way. You know, having ideas, you go to workshops and they tell you, you need to have an idea. Okay, I have an idea, but how do I go on about that? I don't know, right? So he broke everything down to me. Yesterday, I didn't sleep till 11. I was calling my sister every hour. I can't believe I didn't know that, right? Now, and he said something today again, like, be authentic. I'm from Borno State. You don't need to go outside of Maiduguri. Like, this is your story. I know this place. I know these people. Nobody can tell this story more than myself, right? I don't need to tell the Abuja story. I just live here. I can do that, right? And even if I don't go to Maiduguri, I can have a studio and still portray that. So it's something I took away from here. Then talking about branding, Mr. Onye, like, okay, yesterday he started with us. It was brilliant. We need to get out of our shell. You need to be in front of a camera. I was camera shy and all that, but I don't need to do that. Like, I need to take that risk. And we fear what people will say, maybe criticism, but maybe they are not even going to criticize it, right? So that fear factor for me is what I think I need to work on really. So.
All right, very, very brilliant. Can you give her a big round of applause for sharing? And as you share, I'll give you a quick response. Very quick response. One of the key things you should know is, and I'm sure it has been said over and over again, nobody succeeds in isolation. The reality that you are afraid, there's someone that is courageous. All you need to do is, who are you collaborating with? You guys when we started, all we needed to do was to carry ourselves as a group. Myself, and you mentioned Jide Odukoya. Jide Odukoya was a graphic designer from Yabatech. I was a photographer. Jide knew how to edit because he had graphic design background. I knew how to enter anywhere as a photographer. Jide reached out to me. I went back after NYC to squat in Jide's hostel. Do you understand? After NYC, I went back to university to squat just to learn Photoshop from Jide. Jide needed me to come and squat with him to learn how to take photographs with boldness and courage. And today, two of us have, and they just recently released top 10 photographers of all time last week. And two of us are there. So who you surround yourself with, he didn't know how to take picture. He didn't know how to take picture. I didn't know how to edit. But two people chose to come into one room. And that was the beginning of the acceleration of our career. Many of you are alone. You are alone. You want to do anything, you dream alone. You are afraid. You want to get out of the camera of your room to go and shoot, but you're afraid. It's normal, it's human. But who else is bold around you? Why don't you reach out to the person and say, can we just have photo walks once a week? There were days in this Abuja, even as a president's photographer, I went for photo walk every Saturday. My early morning jogging was photo walk. I would leave my house and go and photograph. I have portfolio. Anything you've seen about my work is less than 10% of my work. Because I spent quality time. I was not carried away by politics. Because I knew there was going to be life beyond politics. I documented the whole of Boko Haram activity. I went to Chibok. I went to Bama. I went everywhere. Just because I knew that storytelling was more important to me. So find that person that you can collaborate with. Build networks. Even if you say, oh, just once a week, we would go out. We would go and find the story. We'll be bold about it. We'll be empathetic about it. We would form unity. We'll collaborate with genuineness and interest. And before you know, you guys are going to build something bigger than you know. So don't let that thing, either it is fear, either it's even resources, either it's even camera you don't even have. There's someone that has camera that you can work with. Jide didn't have a camera. I had a camera, but he had a laptop to edit. And we're able to work together, and we've built a future for ourselves. So let's give her a big round of applause again. Next person. Zabru. Sadiq, you are my friend, so there's no way you will not say something. So please, Sadiq, over to you. Guys, are we together? I should start doing presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bayo. I must say this first. My first ever
Can you help us with the sound?
my first ever photography workshop that I attended was here in Abuja, and it was hosted by Mr. Bayo. And I remember then, when I came for the workshop, the weekend I got the invite for the workshop, I also got an employment mail from my bank. So the bank said I should resume on Monday, and the workshop was on Saturday, Friday and Saturday. So I came to Abuja, but I was passionate about photography, basically like storytelling, expressing myself, capturing the mundane things, most especially family and the like. So when I came for this workshop, I didn't have a camera. I came by road from Lagos. They stole my phone the week before, so I had to borrow my younger sister's phone. I used it to document the entire journey from Lagos to Abuja. And as I was taking photos on the road, I was posting on my social media. So there was even this accident on the road that happened along Binyore, where there was these bottles of alcohol that spilled on the road and people were picking. So I took the same photo with my phone in Phoenix, to be honest. So, Hot 2 or whatever. And I took photos, and I shared on the page. But when I got to Abuja, let me cut the long story short, I met with Mr. Bayo. It was a very, very inspiring event. I met Andrew Sebo, I met Mr. Tanko, and I met majorly all the people that I have connected with in photography industry, especially my own peers, such as Damilola Onofua, Julius, Casey Wankalo. So it was that event that actually brought me into the photography community. I returned to Lagos by night, that same day, that Saturday night, because I wanted to have to rest properly before resuming the bank job on Monday. So because I didn't have a camera, I spoke with Mr. Bay. I said, after the event, I said, sir, to be honest with you, if I'm to choose, I would like to just focus on photography and not just go and do this bank job, But I don't have gear. So he said, for him to, I knew he's not, as at then, he has been like supporting creatives basically, but it wasn't at this scale, As at then, it was a very small scale, so I knew he couldn't help me with camera. So he advised me, said, if you are really passionate about this thing, go do the job, but ensure that you don't get carried away, don't get lost in that industry. You should find your way back. And I went, and to be honest, I never left photography. I became a banker, and I did banking for 2 years. So, but in the second year of my banking career, I was coming from work. I got to Lagos TBS. I wanted to take the BRT to Surulere. I saw someone squatting on the road, trying to take one mad image. I wanted to buy gala now, So, who is this person? The person was on white with northern cap. So I went closer, photography now. I was interested to know who is that passionate person on the road. And it was Mr. Bayo in TBS. So this was, where they were trying to transform TBS to what it looks like today. So I think he was working on going about Nigeria and Lagos, taking photos of before and after of landmarks. So I spoke with him again, and he was like, but boy, my time on my neck. I was like, but boy, I wish you were in the industry, And, to be honest, after speaking with him in that trip back to my house, I felt the need to just, let it all out and not be fearful. Because, to be honest, why I continued to do my 9 to 5 was because I needed to earn a living. I needed to solve my immediate basic need. And if I didn't sort that, I wouldn't be mentally prepared to face photography, which was my own interest. But I planned myself. So when I saw him, I was like, I got to buy camera. So I saved up and I bought camera.
And you're back now.
I resigned. And
you resigned and you're back to photography.
No, it's not.
I wanted to summarize it.
Yeah, let me summarize it. Let me summarize it. I took photography full time. I became a VIP photographer. So, which was in the same office as Mr. Bayo. And we're always seeing each other. But honestly speaking, I didn't get close to him. I distanced myself because of certain situations that were happening as at that time. And I wasn't also like so passionate about that particular sector, so I didn't know how to navigate whether I should be there or not. So I held on again, but I'm now back to 9 to 5. Honestly, yeah, I went back to 9 to 5, but this time around in a proper setting, in a sustainable way, and also in a flexible way that allows me to do photography. So when I saw him before he climbed on stage, it was like, oh boy, again, you're always running, you're always running from, like, he said it like, and I know, honestly, I do know, and I'm sharing this just to let him also understand that whatever he must have thought of in terms of me distancing myself, truly, truly, yes, those are my challenges. You know, the idea of thinking about it is great in my head, but would it be great if I share with you? Or if I come to share with you, if I express my vulnerability with you, would you understand me? So I think basically my own fear so far, like that brought me to Abuja Photo Fest. I've been in Abuja for over 6 years, and this is my first time attending Abuja Photo Fest. To show you truly, truly, I tend to distance myself from actively, engaging with the community to improve on myself. But to be honest with you, from Kelechi Amadi's Obi's speech, facilitation to Mr. Onye's to
you are not the same
Fati
again.
Abubakar,
Please, let's give him a very big round of applause.
Is that you guys will continue to see me and you will not get tired. I'm honestly saying so. So I'm here to stay.
So some of you might not understand what he's saying, and some of you are going through what he's saying. And thank you for being vulnerable to share. The reality of life, and that's why I'm enjoying this conversation, is that we are not all going to go through the same path to success. We will not all go through the same path to success. On your journey to building success is not going to be the same route. And why do I say that? Some of you honestly might need to go back to 9 to 5. It is a bitter truth. But if you're doing photography, how many of you are doing photography full time right now? Full time. Some of you need to go back home and reevaluate. And I'm sure you agree with me. Some people need to go back to 9 to 5 because there are some principles in 9 to 5, discipline, that you need to pick from that journey that can help you. Nevertheless, not that you are running away from the reality of what you need to deal with, which sometimes a lot of us feel if we go the easier route, it helps us win faster. But let me tell you, there's no easy route in life. Even that 9 to 5 you are in, there's something, am I right? Even the 9 to 5 you're in, there's something crazy about it that sometimes you'll be asking yourself, maybe I shouldn't even be here in the first place. But in all you do, find your why. When they said find dy dx, they said find your x, right? Dy dx, find your x. Do you know what they were telling you to find? You are the x. Because at the end of the day, we left school and it didn't make sense. How can I go through school and it was dy dx? Find x. But it was us. The journey of school was first about self-discovery. And that's why I studied pure and applied chemistry, and yet I'm not doing anything with pure and applied chemistry. Because it wasn't about the degree in itself, but it was about self-discovery. And as you go through that journey, you need to find yourself. And it's fine for you to go back to 9 to 5, come out of 9 to 5, go back to 9 to 5, but when you find yourself, you would know. For me, there's nothing you want to offer me in a 9 to 5, except if there's something extraordinary knowledge that I need to pick in that room, I'll do it. If there's something that will make me learn something extraordinary in a 9 to 5 that I've never known, I will do it. So Sadiq, welcome back home. Please, let's give him a big round of applause. All right. Oh, thank you for being bold. Go ahead. Take this mic, because can you guys hear me? So I think you should speak up and speak deeper into the mic.
Check. Okay. So if this was happening like a year before, I would really have appreciated it so much more, because it would have there was something that happened that this would have saved me from. So somewhere last year, I got employed to work as in the field of personal photographer for someone in government. And that felt like, yeah, I've hit it. Like, you know what, how we outside the government see people who work for the government. It's a bit different. So when I finally got to work, and I started feeling like I wasn't prepared for it because there was so much pressure that was coming with it. There was pressure from outside, which honestly I could handle, but the pressure from inside was even more because there's a way you'll be spoken to, you won't be asking yourself, do I even know what I'm doing? Because everybody's like, you're supposed to be like this. And then when you don't get a picture, they're like, there was no space. They're like, you are supposed to fight for it. I'm like, I fought. And they're like, they did not see me when I was fighting for it. The whole point there is like, they are very specific. You are supposed to. They don't care what stopped you from doing it. There are no excuses about this. And that's why that pressure followed me for like, unfortunately, I got fired 6 months after. I couldn't catch up. And yeah, that's why I was saying that if I had met you maybe before that, I would have at least been able to, maybe if you had the time, I would have been able to have this conversation with you. But I got fired 6 months later. And that felt like maybe I shouldn't have gotten the job. This is what I keep asking myself. Because when I did that, I left a lot of what I used to do. And they felt like I was no longer reliable. And I accepted it because I was like, this job requires my 100%. I can't be doing this and be doing that. So because of that, I cut off from the real life. And then after this, it didn't take 6 months to now come back to real life. And that real life was no longer there for me. So it now felt like I was starting from the scratch. After losing something like that, it was just a whole mess.
Guys, can you see that what we're doing is really important? So please give yourself a big round of applause. Because see, it's not just about coming to you and just coming to dish out information to you. There are so many deep battles, scars, and problems people are facing that is limiting them from becoming who they should become. A lot of us, some of us, it is even more, I met a guy one day that was talking to me. And he was telling me, and I will share it with you. He said, Baba, it's not that I don't want to be a great photographer, but family pressure too much. He said every time he wants to photograph, he goes back home, there's pressure in his house, pressure with the children. There's so much on his, and I pitied him. And I'm sure some of you know what I'm saying. There's deep pressure that you cannot even say. But the question is, find your why. Why do you really think you want to do this photography? Why? Why are you doing it? Is it just, I am passionate? Because passion will not, it will get to a point, passion will not sustain you again. Passion would not, see, it will get to a point that there's what they call passion. Some of you don't understand. There's passion, there's passion. Passion is when the thing eats you, you go collect. So there will be a point where the passion will turn to passion. At that point, what keeps you going is that you find why you're doing this. There were days I was beaten by police. There were days I was called a kidnapper. There was the days that I was from Boko Haram. In the game of this photography, forget the steals and the noise, Biomobile is this and that. And we are celebrating the glory, forgetting the story. We all are coming from somewhere where it did not make sense. So there are days that it will not make sense to you, like you're saying, where it looks as if you're stupid, you don't even know what you're doing. I finished with 4.26 CGPA. So there were days I was asking myself, why shouldn't I have just carried the glory of this degree? And why photography? But there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And when the light does not come, we'll build another tunnel that will have lights. The question is, do you know why you're doing? So even if the light in the first tunnel, light did not shine, do you think you can retrace your step, like his own case, and still look for another tunnel where there will be light? But challenges are not enough to make you give up. The point is, do you think this is the path you are meant to follow? A lot of people, and that's why I wanted to start this conversation, are now interested in political photography because they saw Bayo doing it. That's not enough. Why? Because you don't know the story or the behind the scene of what some of us have just learned to make everything look good. It's the principle. We always see good in everything. We believe that there's always good in every situation. But if the reason why people are not choosing to do political photography is that it looks as if they saw one Range Rover that passed and it was Bayo's car, and it seems as if I don't even have a Range Rover anyway. But if you think, oh, because there's something very, and then you jump into it, you end up realizing that you were never meant to be there in the first place. There are people in Lagos today that have nothing to do with documentary, have nothing. One of them just opened a big studio, big, gigantic studio. And what does it do? Art photography. Lifestyle photography. There are people today earning tens of thousands of dollars from one piece, just cutting picture and pasting it with super glue. Cutting picture, Nengi, Taye Idao. These are people that they are just cutting picture, paper, and gumming it, and they are making you've been killing yourself from Bono to Meduguri, Meduguri to Kaduna, Kaduna to Kano. You've not seen why. Because you saw Niyi Fagbemi now traveling from one place, and he's doing real. All of a sudden now, inspiration has entered. Now you want to start going around. Is that a why? That when we joined political photography, it did not look good. I asked myself, it did not look good. There was the only reason why I went the path I went was that I was always standing at newspaper stand to analyze newspaper. And every time I was looking at newspaper, I just like to look at newspaper. I was always angry at the fact that Nigerian politicians were always looking horrible at the front page of newspapers. That was the only reason I went into politics. That's why I tell people I did not know anybody. I only found a problem, and the problem was I compared Punch, This Day, Guardian of Nigeria, to Guardian UK, New York Times, and all of this thing, and I felt like the accounts did not balance. And I said I was going there to solve a problem because I felt most of the brilliant photographers were either wedding photographers or portrait photographers back in 2012, 2013. And I said, no, somebody must go there and make the difference. And my friend said, I don't have sense. That, are you sure you know what you're doing? I said, this is what I want to do. And I went there. I went to Osho, photographed the Ekiti. Started going. Not that I jumped into villa. I was going up and down. Even when they don't pay you, you are doing it. But at the end of the day, I got into villa. But now you don't know the story that it was newspaper that inspired me to go into villa. Then all of a sudden you want to enter your own villa. Then they're asking you where's the newspaper front page you saw. Then you become confused. But there must be, why do you want to do what you are doing? And there's no problem with pulling out. The question is, at every point in time when we fail, you go back to the drawing board and you reevaluate. Was there something I could have done better? Because really, sometimes we don't fail because people were not being fair to us. Sometimes we failed because we did not make the best use of the opportunity presented to us. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? How bad can you deliver on the work? To the point that someone like me, I told them, if I'm not performing, sack me. If I'm not performing, sack me now, because I knew what I was delivering. So there's nothing wrong. You can go back again if you really love it. You can go back again and develop yourself some more. And I don't know, is there any school of photography in Nigeria? Yeah. Sir, it's part of the problem.
Master classes.
It's not done anywhere in the world. It's not where you go and sit down and you really learn this thing. It's not guesswork. It's not I tap on for road. And it's okay. It's better you have that natural skill, but you polish it. A lot of young people, all of us, we are just winging it. But the process of winging it does not give accuracy. You know what winging it is? It doesn't give accuracy. That means this one comes and does it his own way. This one comes and does it his own way. And there's no consistency. And that's why somebody say, oh, Tolani Ali seems to be editing one way. It's like she's adding blue. Then let me start adding blue. Why? Do you even know why she added blue? Maybe blue is her favorite color. But you saw blue. All of a sudden, you were peach. You started moving it to blue because you think blue is what is acceptable. We are tired of the same thing. We want something new. So are you not tired of the same thing? We are scrolling through picture. The same thing. The same thing. The same thing. Nothing new. But you have to ask yourself, why am I doing what I want to do? Auntie on Arsenal jersey. Please. You are next. Fly better. All of you must fly better.
Okay.
And I'll just take two more and I'll summarize the conversation.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is God's Will. Okay. My journey to photography actually.
No, go straight to the point.
Okay, straight.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. For me, when I started photography, I had a boss then. I was working in a studio and I was doing my thing. And then one day, my boss made a statement. I would say I was not emotionally strong then, and I gave up on everything. So when I gained admission into school, I I stopped photography entirely, and then I had financial challenges and all of that. So it was like close to when I was graduating. People I've worked with before still call me once in a while. Then I rent cameras, I go, I do the job. And then people kept on saying, why are you leaving this thing? You are good. I take pictures and in my mind, it's not fine. And then people keep telling me, no, you are doing well. And then just recently, I decided, okay, I'm picking this thing again. And my dad got me a camera, and I've been working. And yesterday, I'm very glad I came yesterday. Yesterday was my first day. Our speaker yesterday mentioned something about vulnerability and being shy. I wrote it boldly on my notes. Stop being shy. Post yourself more. Like, I have a lot of pictures on my phone, but if you check my Instagram page, it was 2022 I posted last, all because I'm shy and I'm afraid of being vulnerable. And here today, I've made the decision to be better, take good pictures, put myself out, and stop being...
Please, let's give her a big round of applause. I don't think it's shyness. I think it's self-doubt. A lot of creatives have self-doubt. And if you are being honest, how many of you feel like that sometimes? Self-doubt. You see? I'm preaching. It's there. And these are the real problems. So the real problem is what we need to deal with. A lot of times you are second-guessing yourself. Am I good enough? Again, back to our story. You guys need to go back and form clusters. And when we started this career, we had what they call critic session. We don't do it again. Critic session. Also, see, after photo festival, let it not be till next year. Every month, let there be something, even if it's just to meet in one restaurant, and we have critic session. Give them a community that they can find safety in. Some of us don't have that time. But if you start a critic session for creatives, there were days that we cried after being critiqued, but it made us strong. Andre Sebo critiqued me one day. He brought one international photographer to a hotel. By the time they finished, in fact, when it was almost my turn, I was almost saying, Abek, I don't have anything to show. 2012 or so. So when you see they call legendary photographer, this way the things, you will be crying. You will go back home looking at yourself and say, but why? But guess what? For every structure that will stand, Amma must test it. If you don't want Amma to test you, then you're not ready to stand. So how do you allow Amma test you? Some of you, everybody around you, Baba, now you bad. See that photo, you kill him. Every time, now you, photographer, now they comment for your picture, now them they pay. Photographer is commenting on your page, and you are happy. In fact, you should know you already have a problem. Because how can the person, your colleague, is the one, and then we are waiting for the validation of men. Now, what you need is not validation. What you need is authentication. Someone that makes you see that, you can do better. This is good, but no, this is not where you should stop. But a lot of us, because we are looking for that validation, you are looking for that safety. So you are now looking for people that will be praising you. You know those kind of people when drummers are following them and they are beating, then their shoulder is rising. Those are the people you are looking for. You need to go and look for people that will tell you, come on now. That was what Jide and I, that was all that changed our game. Do you know Jide will look me in the face and say, Bayo, why is it black and white? Tell me. My junior is telling me. Say, tell me. Why is this picture? I like it now. It looks good in black and white. No. Why is it black and white? Why did you choose to make it portrait and not landscape? There's a science to this photography. Do you know there's a science to it? Yes, sir. But there's no why. That's why you must find why. Why do you do what you do? Now, once you begin to, even if it doesn't make sense to anybody, and it makes sense to you, and you are convinced in that your circle that this is deep work, the remaining it's extra. Why? Because I'm saying allow critique does not mean you should be tossed so and fro for every wind of doctrine. It's not that this one said this one said this. But you need that community. It can be a community of 5 people that you find serious. And you guys can form those clusters before you leave this place today. And say, guys, let's just meet every Friday. Let's just meet every Sunday. After church or after Jumat service on Friday. Can we just meet near mosque? There's one place near Central Mosque that if we sit down, we can just collect it and we'll just start critiquing each other. At least after prayer, sense will enter small. You can form that community inside there. But guys, this is the real thing that made us what you guys call legends. There's nothing. If we come here and we are just telling you 5 C's, do this, you will still go back home and you still be checking yourself. Do I really have sense? But you really do have sense. You really do have sense. Tell yourself, you really do have sense. No, you really do have sense. But guess what? You shouldn't be Bayo. You were not born to be Bayo. There were people that were in the villa before I came. But I told myself, no, I wanted to change the game. I wanted to represent the young people in a different way. I was speaking in Ibadan yesterday, and they said, oh, Bayo, how did you build this thing, and still you came out of government and you're still relevant? I said, I went into government not to go and look for kwa. I didn't go into government to be looking for money. I didn't even think there was money in government. In fact, the first day somebody dashed me $1,000, I was shaking. I said, God, who would I go and report myself to? Somebody gave me gift, gift just to say, Bayo, well done. My hand was shaking. Say, God, who will I go and report? Because I didn't even know there was anything called Esther code. So if the reason why you are going into governance to go and photograph politician is because they will give you money, you failed from the beginning. If the reason why you are going there is to go and look for network, you failed from the beginning. But find your why. And I'm not saying don't make money. Don't get me wrong. Make money, but let money not be the driver of what you do. Do you understand what I'm saying? Money is a reward for value presented. Value should be what drives you. Everywhere I go as a photographer, and you don't need to do documentary. You could be wedding photographer. You could be event photographer. You could be portrait photographer. But let value, let empathy, let kindness be the driver of what you're doing. And the sky will just be the starting point for you. You know why? People read into the art. They read into your intention. If it is money, they will know. This one just wants to make money. Give him his money and let him go. But when they know that it is beyond money for you, they will open more doors to you far beyond what you even know. People will support your vision. We just finished building Madhouse. People didn't need to give me money. Some people gave me container. Some people gave me AC. So how? But people know that this guy is genuine and we must support him. And people are watching you. They are watching how genuine you are. They are watching if you really care about the craft or you just care about the naira and kobo. Sir. Guys, am I making sense? But you're not encouraging me now. Encourage me. If it was in church, you will be shouting, preach it, preach it, preach it. Oh, because it's deep. That's why it's entering.
Good afternoon. My name is Bowman Nehemiah. Firstly, when I started photography, I talked to my brother and he was like, the first time I wanted to start photography, I was talking to my brother and he was like, I told him I wanted to start photography because I saw he's getting a little bit of money and I was like, I want to get money too. And after 7 years of school, studying mathematics, I genuinely know I don't want to do anything concerning mathematics or any 9 to 5. And I've been in photography for, let's say, 2 years. For 2 years. And during this time, I genuinely know I love storytelling because every time I hear about police brutality or any bad stuff happening in the country, I feel these are things people really love to hear about. And I want to tell those stories in a unique way. On the day where, yeah. So I think I've had issues with not believing in myself, even though sometimes I feel I am good and I love art. But coming here, I think what I really need to do is go out every day and take pictures, even though I fear that maybe no one sees it. But creating the work should be what's first.
Now let me throw you guys. Let me disrupt your mind a little bit because of what he said. In 2012. And let me tell you, I'll summarize my journey of how we got here. In 2012, how many of you want to hear? Honestly, you want to hear? Okay. In 2012, Jide and I just want you guys to give a big round of applause to Jide wherever he is. Never, ever take for granted anybody who supports your career. They might be your mates, they can be your junior. Don't ever take them for granted. And I'll mention names. Theophilus Modamo. Give him a big round of applause. Many of you who know Theophilus Emmanuel. This was someone that went, I was so crazy about photography that I went online on Facebook and sent him, he didn't know me from anywhere, and he opened the door of his house and told me to come and meet him in his house, and that was the beginning of my career. But I'm going to Jide. We started, don't miss this one, no. We started photography, and Jide and I started trekking through the streets of Lagos, just taking pictures. And that's why I will tell you guys, if it is possible to just go out, even if it's just a principle of 1 photo a day, or 5 photos a week. So even if you are not able to go every day, you can say 5 photos a week. I'm going to create, and when I say create, it's not like you're snapping just 5 photos. I mean, you create 5 portfolio-worthy images a day. Then we started creating this, and someone reached out to us and said, can we begin to do an article for Bella Naija? How many of you know Bella Naija? Bella Naija was the in thing. Bella Naija was the Insta blog and Tunde Head Not of that time. And then we started doing the post free. We'll go on the street of Lagos, we'll take picture, Jide and I, and the guy is a writer, Benga Umodu. If you go on Bella Naija today, Google three musketeers, you'll still find it there. So we'll go around Lagos, take pictures for free. We'll send it to Bella Naija. The guy will write an article about it, and Bella Naija posts it. And then it started generating huge traffic. Because why? People were used to Bella Naija being a fashion, high-end, wedding kind of space. And then for the first time, they found someone, a group of people telling the real-life Lagos story. And then comments started trooping in. And before you know, we did it for about a year. At the point we're like, now wow, this thing doesn't even pay us. We're just doing just. But see, the money that will pay you, the person that will pay you tomorrow is watching you today. The person that will pay you tomorrow. It's not tomorrow the person will pay you. It is what you do today that will make the person pay you tomorrow. Guess what happened? DFID reached out. DFID. It's not the DFID of today because you people are in Abuja. That time, I'm talking of 10, 12 years ago, and sent a mail saying, they found me on Bella Naija, and they are giving me a job. DFID. Some of you don't know DFID. DFID is Department for International Development, UK. There was a DFID project. Big deal. Foreign people. I said, me. That time we were living in Igondo. I said, from UK to Igondo. Ow. Your work always goes ahead of you. And guess what they said? They said, we'll interview every other person, all the big names in Nigeria. But we've been instructed that it is you that must get the job. So we will do in the interview for formality's sake. But we're going to give you the job. And that was how I started shooting. Started traveling. That's when I started hearing per diem. Everything started making sense. Now, why did I share that to you? Is to say, sometimes just going out, it might not make sense. But the question is, when you are consistent, people begin to know you for that same thing. So you are not sharing it. Consistency is what people buy. Some of you did not know me. It is because I was sharing Buhari's photo. But imagine I was taking those photos and I kept them. You won't know me. So the same thing with you. That portfolio in your hand. It doesn't need to be perfect before you share it. You can even share the behind the scene of how you are creating. There's a lady now doing photography. Guess what she does? Art by Dara or something like that. She does behind the scene for music videos. And now people are paying her hell of money just to come and document their behind the scene. Can you see what I'm saying? So there are many things, but guess what she did? She started by just going to where they are shooting music videos and movies. And she started documenting it and started putting it on a platform. Today, everybody is calling her Burna Boy, all these guys are calling her now to just come and shoot the behind the scene of their music videos. So until you choose to be consistent with something, pick one thing. Even if it is Agbalumo sellers that you are always photographing. One day, somebody is opening an Agbalumo manufacturing company. It is you they will call. Because you know how to snap Agbalumo. You don't understand what I'm saying? Oh, portable. Portable has seen that it is madness that is helping him sell market. You people are saying this boy is very rash and very useless. But he has found the substance of his own enterprise. What is your own? What have you found? Is it just photography? They said, Onye Banato has spoken. He ginger me. The team move me. I'm going. Going to where? Okay, you will leave today now. Where are you going to? What would you do after today? Oh, Kelechi Amadiobi, I love the dreads. Ah, man. In fact, when I get home, I'm going to change the color of my hair. It's like the thing is making markets happen. Why? Is that all? And it's good to be motivated. It's good to be inspired. But what is next? What are you planning to do different? What do you want to be known for? Go and find your X. And everything will begin to make sense. And it's the same journey that took us from that point. And when I got to that point, and some of you, how many people have ever gotten to a point where you feel like you've gotten to the end? It's not making sense again. God bless you. The same people, DFID, I just spoke about, told me they cannot pay me again. That I have to leave. I said, Oyibo cannot pay me. That was when I knew I had blown. Oyibo can no longer afford me. You see that God had a plan for me. So I left and started doing documentary photography, just photographing for different projects. I photographed for Sahara Energy, photographed for Mobile, photographed for Total. I was just going up and down. I saw money. I said, So our money was not in government. It started since. I said, so they were paying me times 5 of what Oyinbo was. I left DFID. As I stepped out, they were paying me 5 times more. I said, this thing is making sense. So, and I didn't have to work as hard as I was working there. Then I continued from there. I moved into political photography. Why? I told you, newspaper. Then I went to photograph Fahimi. I said, well, tell the story. He lost. I said, But if I didn't know why I was doing it, immediately Governor Fahimi lost the second election, I would have gone back home. So that's what I mean by you must find why are you doing it. I already knew that the reason why I was doing it was that political photography must improve. So I went to Oshu. I said, please, let me not draw close so that if this man loses, it will not pay me. Then he won. I said, why didn't I just draw close? But I still continued until I got to National Convention where General Buhari was there, and the rest is history. Find that one thing you would do consistently. So Bayo becoming the president's photographer was not that it happened accidentally. The only reason why they called me to be the president's photographer is that they were in a room and they said the only person that has consistently photographed political matter is Bayo. Let's go and bring him. So without lobbying, today people are lobbying for let me be now they have a first photographer, second photographer, third photographer, fourth photographer. They are now rotating. At that point, I had the choice of, I even said I was not doing. God is my witness. Thanks to T.Y. Bello. T.Y. Bello called me. I said, ma, I'm done. No, I'm going back home. He said, Bayo, no, you cannot. You must do this work. I said, what is it? I'll just be following one man up and down. I'll be so it was not exciting to want to photograph a president. But it dawned on me that, see, it was about solving a problem. If you find a problem to solve, everything begins to make sense. This photography you are saying you want to do, have you found a problem? And that is why you will do it in a new way, because you are trying to solve a new problem. The same drug you use for malaria is not the same you use for crocro. There are different medications for different problems. That is why creativity will begin to have flavor. That is why photography will begin to have flavor, because you've identified a problem you are trying to solve. You will not use the same drug for asthma, for ulcer. Neither would you use the one for ulcer, for cancer. Even if they are SASA, you will still find a difference.
So this photography thing that we are all doing, what is that unique value you are bringing to the table that will help you do it in a different way? I'll take the last one and that will be it for today. Thank you. Go ahead.
Before you ask me anything or you say anything, have you found your ex?
Finding
No,
it,
not
sir.
your ex, like
Why?
ex.
I'm finding it, sir.
Okay, good.
First of all, I want to say thank you so much for dedicating this time to be able to speak to us. I was Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Do like DJ. Oh, sir.
What's up? Okay. So, thank you so much, sir. And, okay, I started photography because of strike. I was in the same department as this guy, mass department. And, well, after exams, they said, strike, this one, that one. I'm never used to being idle. So I started following someone around who was taking photographs. I was leaving the departments then, going to engineering. And I just started. That strike lingered for about 3 months. And then, okay, we got back to school. So then I was still starting. I didn't know what exactly I wanted. So I just dropped it. I went to school, came back. And then a couple of years after, okay, during the breaks, I was doing photography properly. There was COVID, and there was another 1-year strike. So during those times, I was investing in the photography side, but I was still very afraid, right? A lot of times like under the person I used to work for, when people see works I did, they will ask me, DG, when are you going to start? When are you going to start your own brand? When are you going to start? And I'm like, I just want to work for this guy and go back to my house. Like, I wasn't planning anything really. And then, okay, a time came, I just started feeling dissatisfied with what I was going through. And I didn't know how to go about it. To be very honest, I was in a box. So I just kept grinding. I kept riding through. And then something happened in 2022. I tell a lot of people this story. I'm a wedding photographer currently. That's how I got into weddings. A friend of mine was getting married, and I found out on a Sunday. It was very low-key. They didn't want people to know about it. So they just saw me in church and were like, DJ, have you heard? We're getting married on Thursday. This was on Sunday. So I was supposed to travel. I traveled, and I came back. I said, these are my friends. I have very good experience working, like shooting weddings, because my previous boss was always shooting weddings, so I had that advantage. But I didn't want to shoot weddings because in my mind it was stressful and tiring. And I just decided to go and shoot that wedding. I did it with a friend of mine. He's not here currently. And I shot that wedding. The pictures came out. And when I posted them, because I put them out on my page, I got a really good feedback. And it's changed a lot of things for me. And I also discovered that I enjoyed the experience of shooting weddings. I didn't know that all the weddings I've been shooting just built up some stamina in me. So I figured around that time was also when I got a camera for the first time by the grace of God. So I said I'll go into weddings, and I just started small like that. Then later in the year, I saw that, okay, I came to the photo festival, and I had shot a carnival at my school before because I wanted to do other stuff.
Can you go nip down to
sorry,
the point?
Getting to the point. I didn't want to restrict myself. I'm still in that phase right now. I didn't want to restrict myself to what I was doing. So I tried other genres of photography. I started shooting, going for photo walks. And, well, I'm still in that place right now. I don't exactly know what it is I'm supposed to do, but I'm just going at it. And, yeah, I get motivated every time. At the last photo festival, when Mr. Onye spoke, when BKH spoke, I really got motivated. I also was privileged to come for your masterclass, Mr. Bayo, earlier this year. Thank you so much. I got really motivated when you were speaking, and you showed us pictures. Wow, those pictures. I told myself that if people who, even with lack of resources, not like I have much resources anyway, but I thank God for what I have. I was like, if people will put themselves out there, will challenge themselves, then I shouldn't cut myself short. And yeah, I'm still figuring it out, but this is it basically. Thank you.
How many of you are in that point where you're still trying to figure it out? Raise up your hand now. You're still trying to figure it out. Okay, drop your hand. How many of you have figured it out? Honestly, you know you figured it out. No, you figured it out now. What have you figured it out? What did you figure out?
Okay,
No, that goes. What did you figure out?
That I wanted to do documentary and tell stories.
Documentary and tell stories.
Yes.
Okay, what about you? What did you figure out? Lifestyle and event. How did you figure it out?
It's been a long year, but the reason why I started photography was I wanted to be telling stories. And then I figured out that documentary photography was my avenue of telling people's story. So, and feedback I got from my clients had actually directed me towards what I'm doing.
I want you want to say something? Okay.
I want to emphasize more on what you said, your work going ahead of you. So basically, I am actually a mobile photographer, and I started recently. And one day, I just noticed that Ashobi Bella texted me on WhatsApp, and he was like, Ashobi Bella texted me on WhatsApp, and he was like, there's a wedding coming up on Saturday, a celebrity wedding, and I want you to cover it. That was Sharon Oja's wedding. I didn't know where it came from. I just started about 2 months ago. I take pictures with my phone and I edit them. You hardly know I use my phone to edit them. So when he texted me, I was like, how did Ashobi Bella get my number? And after everything, I got to notice that it was Jojo Koro. I didn't know Jojo Koro from anywhere. I noticed it was Jojo Koro that actually referred him to me, to text me. My contact was on my Instagram, to text me to cover wedding content for Sharon Oja's wedding. Now what I'm trying to say is, there is a particular wedding content I posted before Sharon Oja's wedding. And I didn't know it was going to, like, I literally take pictures and videos and I didn't have confidence in myself that this is nice. I keep asking my mom, is this picture nice? She would say it's nice, nice. But for Ashobi Bella to text me, I had known that what I was doing was actually nice.
All right. I'll come back to you. But guys, just look at me. Everybody, just look at me. No, but on the more serious note, just look at me. I want you to touch your heart like this, just like this. Then rub it like this. Then tell yourself, Farabale. Rub it very well. Just say Farabale. What does that mean? Calm down. Take it easy. I'm saying that for you to be fair to yourself. Some of these things actually take time. Some of you started yesterday, and as I said, it's a family meeting. Some of you started yesterday, and you want to blow today. It is fake. It cannot last. Even balloon, it takes time to blow it. Even blow, you take time to blow it. You cannot blow suddenly. It is fake. Huh? It takes time. And why I'm saying that is so that you've ate so much in 5 days, and some people just want to allow everything manifest. But Rome was not built in a day. Why it's important for you to understand is that a sweet wine ferments over time. Some of these things you guys just need to be consistently working at it. And now I'm saying that because I asked, have you figured it out? Nobody figures it out all of a sudden.
Nobody figures it out from the beginning. Mr. Banatu is here. It's not that he thought he was going to go into production. He didn't think he was going to go into production from the beginning. He started just a passionate creative that just loves to tell stories, and now he's using event as a component of that storytelling. But if you think you are going to get it figured out from the beginning, you've made a mistake. I did burial photography. I did wedding photography. I did a birthday. I even photographed 2-year birthday. I did freedom. I did everything. I did red carpet. I photographed with kids' first album launch. I did MBGN. I've done every kind of thing. Because it's easy to say, focus, and we'll come here. I tell you, focus. If you focus, and you two will go back home, I want to focus. Focus on what? On what? Do you know the meaning of focus? In the midst of so many things, you choose to narrow down onto something. So you can't narrow down without, you don't know anything. You say you want to focus. Focus on what? Some of us now, I was a political photographer, right? I've left that. I'm not dealing with archives.
I just finished an exhibition. I kept it low key. I just went into research. I'm a researcher. I've left this whole thing. But if you come now and say, he said archive and research. Me too. Let me just start. You won't understand though. But guess what? I grew into this position. I grew to understanding what I wanted to do with my life. And everything started adding up. So if you call me today and say, come and photograph a politician, I can tell you it doesn't make sense. That doesn't mean that when it lasted, it did not make sense. But I have grown to understand by reason of doing, you are transformed. As you continue to do, you get transformed and you become a better version of yourself. That's why you must consistently do. Because it is in the process of doing. Don't keep your camera at home. Don't bag it. It doesn't have to be fine. Post it. Because why? When you post it, somebody will correct you and say it is not fine. You can quickly archive it. But if you don't post it, how do I even know you are doing anything in the first place? A lot of people enter my DM and say, bros, I want to work with you. Guess how I choose people? I'll just go and scroll through your page. Now you can be saying I have it in my portfolio. You do not share it. I don't have time to ask you to send me your portfolio. Because the way your page looks will tell me if you're a serious person or not. So when you send me a DM, I just scroll through your page, I select people I want, and I move on. So if you are not consistently putting out your work, nobody knows. And I'm not saying disturbing the internet with just posting every day and posting every day. No. But you can sit down and say, you know what, I'm going to curate what I want for people to experience, and everything will begin to make sense. I'm going to close by saying the future is bright for each and every one of us. The future is very bright. But don't allow anything distract you and discourage you from building that future. We that you see here today, we are just a product of grace. It is just that God chose to help us. Nobody, we are not better than you. That's why I said, let's draw closer, let me sit down. If it was possible to say, because you won't see me, I would have sat down here. It is only grace that found us. But if you can stay where you are and continue to push that craft in your hand, value it, celebrate it, respect it, collaborate with others, share knowledge, open yourself to being vulnerable, the future is bright. And if I never tell you anything, at the end of the day, what changed our life is that we found God. It's easy to think talent. Talent is never enough. And if I'll tell you anything, find your God. There's God that directs the path of a man. I didn't know President Buhari from anywhere. I didn't know him from anywhere. The first time he saw me, now he got to a point that if he did not see me, he said, where is Bayo? How can a president be looking for a young boy from Mushi? That the president doesn't see you, the president cannot. He said, if Bayo is not there, it is as though I am not in the picture. If Bayo is not there, you don't understand. They arranged for group photo. I went to Lagos. He looked at all the photographers. He was in the picture. He called Malam Garubashi and said, please tell, if Bayo is not there, it is as if me, president, I am not in the photo. Could that be because I was talented? No. Grace. And I'll tell you, no matter what religion you practice, there's a God factor in everything you do. If you find God, everything changes. Thank you very much.
Please, let's give Bayo a round of applause. Please, let's stand up and do this. Let's stand up and do this. I know we are all wild, but please, let's stand up and do this. Thank you so much, Bayo. Thank you so much, Bayo. I heard a story of the guy who used to be a CSO to a certain president. He said when he was in government, people would bombard his phone during public holiday, bringing gifts for him, sending him goodwill messages, all manner of things when he was the CSO to the president then. Immediately, they left power. Immediately, they were no longer in government. He said the people who called him during a certain holiday, they were not up to 5. But here is Bayo. Even long after he's no more, as it were, in government, Bayo is still Bayo because he was Bayo before he came into government. Bayo, we really want to say thank you, that you are still very relevant and you will always be relevant. Thankfully, you are a young man. So we are in this for the long run. Thank you so much, Bayo. Thank you so much, Bayo. Thank you for coming. Isn't it just a fantastic way to close the 2024 Abuja International Photo Festival? It can't just be better. We got morning service from the great Onye. We got evening service from the great Bayo. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming to support the work that we do. For everyone speaker who has been here, on Monday we had a photo walk. On Tuesday we had the artist talk with Colin. Then the event formally started on Wednesday with Kelechi followed by Fati and Chavala. Then a couple of other sessions that we've had. Sadiq has been around, and Megaskia has been around. So it's just been from one level of glory to another. So we're happy that Bayo just came to ice the cake. Isn't it? He just came to ice the cake. Now, who is ready to party? All right, so we still have some giveaways to do. Yes, we still have a giveaway to do. And I know the DJ is ready. The ball, the grilled chicken and the grilled fish, they are ready. And the drinks are ready. So please, let me pass the microphone to the MC to take it further from here. Thank you, guys. You will see my face again. Bayo has said we should be doing every month now, right? All right, you'll see my face again next month.
See, please, with a standing ovation, let's appreciate Mr. Osaze FA. Come on now, come on. It's been 5 days. 5 whole days. You can do better than that. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This is edition 8. Not many people survive this long.